So today we're talking about a triple square or a T-square, where three planets are square to another and two planets are opposed to another. The opposition will be Mars and Saturn, and the square planet will be Uranus. So Mars being the planet of action, Saturn being the planet of destiny or karma or rewards, Uranus the energy of awakening, all in the formation of a square, is presenting a particular tension. However, we are spiritual people. At least I'm a spiritual person. I'm tuned in and tapped into the ancestral realm, and the ancestral realm have a different message for me to deliver in reference to this T square. Is it the end all be all message? No. Is this message for you, entirely for you? Probably not. But if you are interested in ancestral work, soul work, alchemy, transformative work, I'm specifically tailoring this message for you. And of course, my deck of choice, the deck has saved my life. My favorite deck of all time. We will be referencing the energy of the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot deck. I got the book. You know me, I keep a dusty, crusty ass book, and that's Luma Wipe. Like, we don't know what you trying to show us. This old tattered piece of thing. Cover all them fell off, but yes, must have energy in your home, the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot deck. So we'll be dealing with the threes, the three of water, the three of earth, and the three of fire, and all of these energies are squared moving into the week. And this is an overall preparation for alignment, where the universe looks at squares as trouble. Things such as retrogrades, oppositions, and squares. Melanated energy, we learn the most from adversity. Those are our best teachers, but ultimately we have the best ancestors because our ancestors give us phantasms. And as I'm driving, Spirit is showing me some things that have happened like in my past. And it was almost as if I knew they were going to happen, which I did. I experienced them, but as I'm experiencing them, a sense of calm and a sense of betterment is taking place at the same time. So what this speaks to for me is the deeper reality of your ancestors and your soul and your guides having more control over your destiny than once we initially thought. But let's deal with this in the realms of Mars and Cancer. Cancer dealing with the family, but this is more of the hereditary side of the astrological wheel. So Venus would be a subjective love in Cancer. It's simply saying like you love your specific hereditary ancestors. And Mars being the planet of action is how you actually deal with those ancestors. Now, we could reference to our actual ancestors in the real life, like our grandma, grandpa, aunts, and uncles, but that's more mundane and it might not get you nothing. When you look at Cancer, we can use our grandma and grandfather and aunts and uncles as representatives of how this energy may translate in the celestial. So you then have Mars and Venus in your cosmic ancestry. So these are more or less the ancestors that have transitioned where they may go into the energy of Cancer, in the energy of nutrition, in the energy of emotion and deeper love. So if I go to your house and you feed me, Chef Boyardee, and you don't cook for me in the space of love, I know you don't care about my future, right? Because if I keep eating Chef Boyardee every single day, I'm going to end up dead, right? Diabetes and things of that nature. So you can't love me and not feed me in the space of health, right? So ultimately, this is why, and a lot of times with cooking, it is not based upon gender, but it's definitely based upon doing it for the ancestors. I know when my wife cooked, she'd be like, I ain't cooked this, the ancestors cooked this meal. When I cook, I'm always like, the ancestors need me to cook, right? That's specifically Mars and Cancer. So you're active in this hereditary ancestral realm. This is all great when Mars is in Cancer, but then you have an exact opposition to Saturn, and this gives you a different type of vibration. This gives you, okay, if you're not active in the ancestral realm, we gonna beat your ass type shit. Because Saturn is more masculine, but not masculine in the sense of manly, but masculine in the sense where it acts, right? So if you wanted to tap in and understand what Saturn looked like as a specific energy, it would be more into the realms of like Big Mama, right? So moving back to Cancer, you have the picture of Man Brigitte. And quite simply, if you just look at the image, you see an old lady at a graveyard and it's candles, right? The candles representing a level of offering, a level of giving to this particular energy, or giving to the ancestors. So when you go to an altar and you leave a candle, it's just saying you're trying to build a connection with your ancestral energy. And this is the second deacon of Cancer, and the second deacon of Cancer is ruled by the Three of Cups. The Three of Cups in the Voodoo Tarot deck is Man Brigitte. So all you got to do is get your Googles out and start typing in Man Brigitte, and they'll get into this lady is the ruler of cemeteries, right? So when you think of cemeteries, you can think, oh my God, creepy, spooky cemetery, or you could just understand this is how I connect with the ancestral realm. And basically, it's the candle work on your altar to simplify this card, or the visitation to the ancestors that have transitioned and leaving things at their gravesite. So once again, we're talking about Mars, the planet of action, in reference to your ancestor work. Now this is just one leg of the T-square. It's another leg to it, and we'll get into it. So once again, you have your Mars and Cancer energy. You're being active on the ancestral realm, whether you're doing altar work, or you're going to the cemetery, or you're doing a combination of both, or you're doing a variation of those things where you're just in the realms of spirit, you're connecting with your ancestors, and you're in your Mars, you're active. You're not like waiting for the next hottest video on YouTube to come off, because once again you have the energy of Saturn, which is the energy of karma, which is the energy of you either gonna do it or you ain't gonna do it. Because if you ain't gonna do it, you're gonna have serious repercussions, and if you gonna do it, you're gonna get the energy that you want, right? And ultimately, what highlights this card, what highlights this deacon, the second deacon of Capricorn, which Saturn is in, is going to be the Three of Dis, or Three of Santeria, which would be the Oya card. Now quite simply, ooh. Now quite simply, Oya is the deity who is to have some command over your life, over your spiritual life. So when you oppose Saturn to Mars, you're doing this spiritual work, but you're not doing this spiritual work like, hey ancestors, you know, I was wondering if, you know, I was a little late on these bills and I just need like a couple hundred, I'll pay you back. I'll pay you back. And the ancestors are looking at you like, well, how you gonna pay me back? I get paid on Friday. And you gonna do what? I'm gonna give you the money back. You know we in the ancestral realm and we can't use that money, right? Oh, I ain't think about it like that. So what do you want? Real talk, sis. Real talk. I'm thirsty, sis. And I'm hungry, sis. Can we get, what you cooking today? Oh, you know, fried cheese, macaroni and cheese, collard greens, yams, cornbread. You know the usual. Yeah, we know the usual. We see you cooking every day. Every day. water bottles all in the kitchen on the floor. That ain't even where the water bottles go, but it's a water galore in here. We thirsty. We hungry. And you say, what? You about to get kicked out? I wonder why, sis. I wonder why. Hey, you drinking a water bottle right now? Okay, I see you. I see you with your bad ass thinking that you exist in this whole world by yourself. Okay, I got you. So, ultimately, we work with our ancestors, and we work with our ancestors for a level of command. We work with our ancestors not to beg for shit. Okay? If we're tapped in and tuned in to our ancestors, to our maternal bloodline, to our hereditary energy, we're going to their graveyards. Right? She like Virginia Slims. We buying Virginia Slims. Cause so once again, let's tap back into this Mars and Cancer. This, what she's sitting on, is called the City of Pyramids. Now, the City of Pyramids is an abode for the ancestors. And everything that we do on the physical, the ancestors benefit for in the City of Pyramids. In my previous video that I did, the ancestors need you, is more to that energy. In the ancestral realm where souls exist, your family exists, they're not dead. That's the worst thing in the world, to feel like, oh, Mama Jenkins done died. Mama Jenkins ain't died. She wants some red beans and rice with the andouille sausage. Ain't that how you say it? Andouille? She wants some hot wings. She wants some goddamn cigarettes, Newports. Y'all faking and flogging out here, and that's why gas is going up and up and up, because ain't nobody working with their ancestors, and they tired. They living in the City of Pyramid, and they about to get evicted. Ain't even no landlords. They dying of thirst. They don't got no food. Now, everywhere else in the world, understand that ancestors don't die. Every culture, you go to Mexico and all of this, they got all of this type of energy. La Madre. Now I gotta Google it. She like, oh, don't put no disrespect on my name, fam. We ain't come here to play. We ain't come here to play on your livelihood. You think you gonna play with me? What's the lady from the movie Coco? Was it Coco? Mexico, goddess of death. You would know your name, sis. Santa Muerte. Santa Muerte is the Lady of Holy Death, is the personification of death. Unlike other saints who originated, Santa Muerte is not herself seen as a dead human being. Let's do that again. Santa Muerte is not herself seen as a dead human being. That's a placement or a placeholder for whoever ancestors that exist. They know in Mexico, they're not dead. Somehow this imaginary line between Cancun and Los Angeles, we go into a vortex where we think the homies and the Bloods and Crips then somehow dead. I feel like a lack of knowledge. A lack of knowledge, it goes a long way. So when you go to Mexico, and then they have like offerings. Let's just, because I don't want to seem like a crazy person. You will see it, you know, they got the candles, they got the food, they got the bread, and they got some apples on the little table. They got water. They got cigarettes. Hold on, I'm gonna save this and I'm gonna bring it to the table. Cause then I'm gonna show y'all this, cause I would do the same thing in my crib. The only difference between me and everybody else is that these Mexicans is doing it and they writing exact, they honoring their ancestors. But when I do it, I'm a crazy person. So I'm just here to just try to figure out what is it that we should be doing. Should we do, because people will be like, well, how do the ancestors eat? And how do the ancestors do this? Bro, I don't goddamn know. I'm not the ancestors yet. I'm still up this bitch like you, trying to figure it out. I'm just looking at the world. And if I went to Mexico, they'd be like, oh, the ancestors, we set an offering altar for our ancestors. And it's like you're thinking about your ancestors, you're thinking about them, you're feeding them by thinking of them, by setting the table, by cooking them some chicken. They understand that you're doing that for them. You could be goddamn watching TV, playing the goddamn PS5, but yet and still, you're cooking chicken. They know you a vegan, you don't even like chicken, but you cook them some fried chicken and set it on the table. Well, how long are you gonna set it on the table? Bro, I don't know. What I'm supposed to do when they get done? I don't know. Think about it, be creative. We go down to the river and give our offerings. Throw them away, put them in the trash. I don't know. Trust your intuition, tune into your soul. Or you might be the type who say, my ancestors don't need offerings. Hey, don't give them no flowers then on your altar. Don't give them no fresh water. Don't give them no liquor. Don't give them no chicken. But don't complain to me about your baby mama. So please don't do that. Don't do that. So back to Oya. The energy of commanding, the energy of dealing with your ancestors, commanding in the spiritual. What's the square to that? What's the opposition, or what's the opposite energy to that? Living in the mundane, caring about what you do or what you got or what you don't got, your career, your life, your makeup, your hair, your haircut, your new outfit, the party, the all-white party, vacation, all of this inconsequential bullshit, phantasm, illusion, apparition, don't matter. That's the opposite of the Mars energy, being active for illusionary energy and then being confused as to why you're not satisfied. The opposite of command, on the other side, is an energy that is begging or feeling as though they don't deserve the love of the ancestors, or feeling like they second class, or feeling like they slaves, or feeling like they less than, or feeling like a whole slew of negative connotations to which people bring onto themselves in reference to the ancestral realm. The opposite of Oya would be to force an issue, to bring your yelling anger into a situation to get your way, versus a subtle command with the energies of the universe that don't even get a chance to exist if they don't comply with your wills. It's a subtle, it's a small shift in understanding. Because yes, you may be Oya in nature, but you're not Oya to another Oya. See, your boyfriend has a Oya too. Oh, you thought you was just the Oya? Oh, girl, you need to come meet my Oya, and our Oyas can meet and talk to one another. Because my Oya is not going to take shit. And ultimately, it's not about having another person do your bidding more than it is having 1,000 to 1,000,000 people buy your product. So you could be in a level of prosperity. This is the level of command of Oya. Technical difficulties. So, where should you bring your command to? Hood said we about to be on some Oya command, so I'm about to tell my baby daddy exactly what I want. Exactly what's on my chest soon as he get off work. Hood said we on some command stuff with Oya. I'm about to go straight to my baby mama and tell her exactly where my mind is at, where my heart is at. No. We're dealing with the cemetery. Okay, we're dealing with the ancestors. To bring about a level of command in the ancestral and soul realms. How do you level up your ancestors? By thought. Now, what's the thought? Boy, I sure do miss Mama. Mama used to make the best chili cheese fries on Friday. Mama, I missed you. I was thinking about Mama today and I was sad. That's solar plexus work, fam. That's real world solar plexus work. It is not activating your solar plexus by tapping into the feeling of loss and pain, or then even bringing about a space where you can try to squeeze the toothpaste back into the tube. Mama has exited out of her body. Mama is not dead. And if you want to figure out how to make chili cheese fries, you might well work with an altar and start to channel her and see what type of recipes and things of that nature. Bring Mama with you to Kroger's. All right, Mama. I know you didn't write this down, but I'm going to trust and tap into you. We're going to figure out how to make these chili cheese fries because I sure am hungry. And she going to say, baby, my secret is brown sugar. You gotta season the beef with brown sugar. And you like, dang, Mama, now I can taste it. Now, okay, I that's why you had the little rolled up bag in the third drawer. And I used to see, okay, Mama, and it's all clicking to you now. So ultimately, your ancestors are always there. But ultimately, in realms of dealing with them, you're in the level of, you for one, you think they're dead. And for two, you think that they can't help you. So if something is dead, it's not going to help you. And if you think it can't help you, it won't. Even if they can. So this is Mars opposed Uranus in the sense that when you deal with your ancestors for long enough, or if you just are in a space where you just can do something today, you never thought about it. You're just like, fuck it, I'm gonna go to the cemetery and see Mama's ass and bring her some of her liquor. Cause I used to talk shit that she was drinking liquor and now she passed away. I'm gonna bring her some of the liquor. If you bring Mama some of that liquor and ain't nobody brought her none of that liquor and you don't get your rent money in the next week or so, then I'll give you your rent money. Nah, I'm just playing. Don't take my word for that or Mama. Mama say you probably need to move out of the city anyways. Whose Mama is this? Tell her going somewhere. Ain't nobody trying to talk to you. Trying to do a damn video. Okay. Let's look at this. So we have Mars in Sidereal Cancer opposed Saturn in Sidereal Capricorn, and they both square Uranus in Sidereal Aries, just in this second decan of Aries, and that's what we're going to talk about now. So Uranus in the second decan, integrity or lack of clarity. being the person that you say you are and also knowing who you are. Sometimes we can be and have integrity and not know who we are. An example of this is that time that you was a stripper and you was showing the work on time, but things still wasn't working out for you. And you was trying to be the best stripper that you could be. Or that time that you was a gangster drug dealer and you was keeping up with the books and making sure that the accounts receivable and accounts payable was in order, and you still ended up in prison for a 10-year sentence. Meaning that you can have integrity but be making the wrong decision and still end up in the wrong place. So having integrity don't really matter if you don't know who you are. So to awaken yourself to who you are is perpetual. And it's always assumed and understood that we know exactly who we are. But the reality of knowing who you are is perpetual in the actual learning of it. You may not have the endurance to sit with yourself for the amount of time that it takes for you to get to actually learn yourself. But if you were to sit and learn yourself and take your integrity and your best energy with the right understanding of this is who I am, then it all makes sense. But in reference to being a little child or lacking maturity, you may have to level up on your maturity, and I feel like that's okay. Because you probably still are in the space of developing. But once you done hit your teeth enough against the concrete, once you done learned all of the things that you feel like you done learned the hard way so hard, and you just really just wish for an easier path, an easier way, then you simply walk in knowing who you are and listening to yourself and following that. Over time, you get a sense of who you are, meaning that I understand how myself works, and that feels good. But I have no clue on who I am as a soul. If I really were to unlock and peel back the necessary layers, I would probably cease to exist. So the sense of not knowing who I am entirely is the reason that I wake up in the morning, so I can get to know. When I tell people about Aries energy, this is your get up and go energy. So when you wake up with a purpose. So what would that purpose be perpetually as Uranus is in Aries? It would be a perpetual cycle of learning and relearning yourself. So Uranus is a slow moving planet. You just have to ask yourself, and maybe I'm completely alone. Over these past few years, have you been learning a newer version of yourself? Or you just been the same person you've been your whole life? Me, I'm a completely different person than I actually believe myself to be for a majority part of my life. So why would I then take it like, okay, I'm the hood mystic, astrologer, psychic, that's it? When I didn't even realize that I could even be that. So to awaken myself into my passion and to see what those passions are is still the goal. Uranus is still in Aries. So I'm still in the process of learning it. Now, part of this is working through my self-defeat and my level of not commanding the spiritual realm. And ultimately, when it comes to the things that you absolutely need or the things that you've been putting the back burner on and you've been kind of living off your fronts, those fronts is going to come to collect. An example would be as if like you're selling drugs in the hood. You don't need money to start selling drugs. People will front you drugs. People will give you weed, people will give you coke, crack, whatever, and say, okay, you sell it, make a profit, and you just give me what you owe me, and you keep the profit. This is a great deal but they don't tell you how to sell it. They don't give you clients. They don't give you business ethics. They don't show you how to retain customers. They just give you the drugs and they expect the money. And if you don't have the money, that's why a lot of violence happens in reference to the drug trade, mainly over money that is owed. So I say that to say that your fronts ultimately will come to collect. But your job during these particular couple of years was not to put up front so people could love your fronts. Your job for these past couple of years was to do the inner work so you can figure out who you were. And this is the overall passion as to why we wake up. To learn self, to know self. Why do you want to know this? Because yourself knows everything that you want. You have no idea what you want. I'll give you an example of how you don't know what you want. Your boyfriend. You thought you wanted him. You thought you loved him, but it didn't work out. Your job. You love this job. This was going to be where you retire at. You ready to quit. Your neighborhood, your house, you ready to move. The city that you went to that you thought, oh, I can't wait to move, you ready to get out of there too. So wherever you running, wherever you trying to hide, wherever you trying to front, wherever you trying to show, wherever you go, you will always be. So what do you have to then deal with? Your beingness. Your beingness is infinite. It never gets to a point where you sit with your beingness and you say, ha, I figured it out. I'm a phantasm orgasm. So I got the question for you. Are you a spiritual commander or are you powerless? Your powerlessness is conveyed in your messaging and in your words and through your throat chakra. I said your powerlessness is conveyed in everything that you say. Don't try to hide from me. Don't try to tell me that you're a spiritual commander. I prayed for my voice. I paid and prayed for my voice. I've worked at it. I wanted it when I didn't have it. I knew that's what I wanted. So ultimately, I figured if I had a voice, then I could use my voice for other things. See, like Solomon, I didn't want the furs or the fashions or the clothes or the ladies and things of that nature because I already had that, and all it did was get me some C-grade vagina after the club. What I really wanted was to learn how to manifest for myself, and I realized that it was a voice. I got readings. I went to psychics. I traveled. I asked questions. I asked gurus, senseis. I want a voice. And then I met a lady. I don't even remember her. I just remember her to be a soft white lady. Some lady on Facebook. Just remember her to be very soft. And she said, you will find your voice. You will receive your voice. Don't worry. You know, that type of deal. And I received that. And once I received it, things began to change for me. And that little short story, I want to share that with you because sometimes you want extrinsic things. You want cars, clothes, and these types of things. But okay, you can get all of that. How you gonna get it? You gotta want that too. You gotta want your wanter. You gotta want the thing that's going to be your vehicle to manifesting things. For me, it was a voice. What is it for you? Because this is what this is where the tension is coming from. It needs for you to find your gift. Because your gift is your ability to command in the marketplace. I see so much prosperity for you. I see so much growth for you. And the problem is you don't see it for yourself because you are powerless in your throat chakra. You can't voice the power that is in your root chakra because the emotions aren't there. Because the law of attraction ain't there. And your giving heart, You ain't giving nobody nothing. Your ex, he hurt you. You know that. He did you dirty. So now to everybody that come after your ex, they gotta pay. Ain't that right, Nigga? Cause they owe. Your ex can't feel it. So your new boyfriend definitely most feel it. So we talking about the throat chakra. We talking about the ability to heal. We talked about having the sanctuary to administer healing in your home. So you mean to tell me if my son got a broke leg, I'm supposed to bring him into the middle of my front room so I can heal him? No, I'm saying you're supposed to heal your son in your front room before he go outside today so he don't break his goddamn leg. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying you're supposed to put a protective aura on him so nothing bad happened to him out in these streets. Do you know where we at? Ain't no safe zone. This is America. It started off the Wild Wild West. Guess what it will resort to? They say this in relationships. How you start a relationship is how you end a relationship. And we like to be very peaceful, and we like to be pragmatic, and we like to be diplomatic. At the same time, it's a whole war going on. And we don't even want to give protection energy to our sons. Make that make sense. Your son don't gotta be a bad person to need healing. And you shouldn't be waiting until the bad thing happened for you to tap into your healing modalities now, should you? My thing has always been preventative magic. My thing has always been a person that has been thinking about what possibly could happen in the future and what I need to do about that today. And we're really talking about tuning in and tapping into the quantum realm for energies of healing. To tap into the quantum realm, you think a HD 4K television in your front room and energies being trampled in and out your front room is going to establish a connection with the 5D quantum realm? I think not. But if you remove all of that energy, get some wood on that flow, sit your ass on that flow. Ain't no beautiful paintings, ain't just sunlight and plant life, a couple of plants, some wood, some purity around you, or maybe some black and no light, however you get down. But we talking about an area in your home that represents nothing, which could be the gateway to the quantum realm. And this is the tension. And why would you want to tap into the quantum realm? You need to bring forth those gifts. You need to bring forth those talents. You need to bring forth those skills. You need to bring forth all of those chili cheese fries recipes that Mama got for us. You understand me? It's a recipe book in the quantum realm. It's a literature book in the quantum realm. It's a children's book in the quantum realm. So all types of books in the quantum realm. It's inventions in the quantum realm. It's applications in the quantum realm. It's mathematical functions. It's chemistry computations in the quantum realm. It's ways to uplift the deer population in Minnesota in the quantum realm. I don't know, motherfucker. Choose what you want to do. I don't know what the hell you want to do. You want to be a goddamn marine biologist? I don't know, and nor do I care. But what you came down here to do is specifically for you. You should know this. You should command this. Your ancestors should be the force that propels you to your actual purpose outside of worried about this existential shit that is completely phantasm. If you're focused on it, it's alive. If you ain't looking at it, it don't even exist. And this is proven by science. The double slit experiment. So, close this out. I got some notes, and then I'm gonna go to the law of attraction portion of this broadcast. So, some questions. If you got a pen and paper, you might want to write it down. So if I told you something is referencing a skill or a talent, such as like learning Adobe Illustrator, learning how to draw on your tablet. You got the tablet, you know, the tablet that you got, your iPad that you be playing Candy Crush on. I said, I want you to remove Candy Crush off of that damn iPad I want you to put Adobe Illustrator. I'm gonna mail you a stylus pen, and we're going to learn how to draw on Adobe Illustrator. From there, you will know how to do logos, you will know how to do cartoons, you'll know how to do all types of vector images. Anything we need to do on a digital scale, you will be able to do it because you know Adobe Illustrator inside and out. All I'm asking you to do is remove Candy Crush off your iPad and put Adobe Illustrator on there. Why is the price of learning a skill that could bring you hundreds of dollars a day so expensive, versus to the point that it's so expensive that you would never even think to do it? And why is it so cheap for you to waste your time on Candy Crush, NBA 2K, Madden 2021, so forth and so on? Call of Duty. The thing about the video games and the mind is that your mind don't know that you're playing the video game by the way that these video games are set up. It was cute playing PS2 growing up and things of that nature, but the way that these games are set up with the Oculus and the 4K TVs that want to dap you up as soon as you walk into the house, it's a little scary. Because what it's doing to your subconscious mind and your Oculus literally is that it's actually saying that you live in a war zone. You need an AK-47. And then when you look at the world, it's literally turning into that, to the point that people cannot differentiate whether they playing Call of Duty or they walking down the street to Central Park to go feed the ducks. So in the realms of what you are going to do, you shouldn't be assisting in the madness by playing goddamn Candy Crush. Because that's easy to do, and it's particular, the reason why it's easy and accessible, because it wants to shut down your goddamn pineal gland. It wants to shut down your ability to perceive the world in a space which is prosperous and abundance and available for you to be free. They want you to think that it's Call of Duty outside. And even if you ain't playing Call of Duty, everybody in your building playing Call of Duty. So you might as well be playing it to get an understanding of the world that you living in, or the world that they're living in. Because these boys got to be on alert and their head on a swivel, and ain't nobody around them got a damn AK-47. They in their living room or in their bedroom. And they really is tactical Marines. They know more Marine tactics than actual Marines. They'll come through and do a whole roll, pull up an AK-47, shoot the whole room, and be like, "Hey, what's up, bro? What's going on with you?" "Hey, well, ain't nothing. I was just trying to see if you got some sugar." So, do you develop power when you do what you want? Or do you develop power when you do things in a holistic manner? Holistic meaning positive and negative, making sure that they balance it out. So if you go out to the club at night, you know what I'm saying, and you drinking your shots of Hennessy, it ain't as bad because at the beginning of the day, you was working out at the gym and you got some time to meditate. We can't act like going out to the club and everything is okay, and then we can't act like we just going to meditate our life away. So are you in a space of holistic energy where you doing ratchet shit and you doing mindfulness shit and you okay with it? Or are you trying to be so mindful that you shutting off your ratchetness, or you being so ratchet that you don't have no sense of self? So ultimately, when you reference in the opposition, it's very important to develop a balance and understand both polarities. So the ancestors might have you on some ratchet shit just because they are ratchet themselves. How you think you got here? If your ancestors wasn't ratchet, your ass wouldn't even have been born. So let's keep it real when we in them ancestral realms, in the opening up of the world and your ratchet ass energy. But I digress, or progress. So Mars being a planet of electromagnetism and instinct, and also in this space of newness where we are moving into a new moon territory off a waning moon, could you begin to remove all of the barriers to your instincts? Sometimes we be so habitual that we don't even understand where our instincts lie. So ultimately, how do you establish an instinctual energy? You just remove as much as you can out of your environment that no longer serves you. And 10 times out of 10, you don't need none of the shit that you got. All of the shit that you need is completely inside of you. And this is the next level of understanding your psychic functions and non-physical ability. And at a certain point, it gets tiring for people, right? They can't handle it because the human and the ego is like, no, you're trying to invade and take over. I don't want the soul to take over. I want to run. I want to lead. I want to go to work. I want to argue with my baby mama. I want to keep going through the same bullshit. But ultimately, once you tapped in and tuned into the soul, you can go through this shit all day, every day. You never get tired. And you always can find a different expression of your soul in your life, past, present, or future. You will understand how your soul was always in control and how everything that happened outside of you, possibly 10 times out of 10, according to science, was just a mere illusion. So why give it energy? So you have Uranus in the Aries energy, slow moving planet, ultimately awakening us to these things, awakening us to our ancestors, awakening us to our soul, awakening us to our yoga, awakening us to our practices that are actually healing, tapping into preventative magic and not just using magic when we laid on rent, doing prosperity rituals when we got hella money in the bank instead of doing prosperity rituals when we got $2 in our pocket. You understand? We doing prosperity rituals ad nauseum in perpetuity because we're just so fucking happy to live in prosperity and abundance. So this is just the energy that we're sharing, and we're hoping that you absorb it and then share it to someone else, because what the world needs is a reminder or an awakening that they are truly a spiritual being having a human experience and not the other way around.